day that Zachary was like, Mom, can I have some juice? And I come running in like, good mom, you know, I'm a great mom, and I'm going to make him some juice. And you sent me to run an errand, and you had something in your mind that you were going to do. You sent me out to go get something first, and when I came back, Zachary had actually...
Oh, he made the juice himself.
Right.
And you were like, he can't make juice.
I just never even thought about teaching him to make juice.
Right.
I mean...
Mom, I want some juice, and Mom would make it.
I would just make it. It was just normal what I would do. So then when I saw how happy this kid was, that he figured out how to open the can, and he figured out how to do everything, he's never asked me to get him a glass of water or a glass of juice ever since that day.
And
but in the end, they turned out to be kids that I never allowed to step up to be the champion. I never allowed them to set their own goals. I just did everything for them, and in the same sense, I stole their self-esteem and their zest for life.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the next point. That brings us here of why we decided to commit our life to the Creating Champions for Life philosophy mission. I had my life all figured out. I was a personal development speaker. I was going to go around the world, you know, helping people change their lives. And I meet Tom and started seeing some humongous shifts with my children.
I just took it for granted because it was so simple. But
Right.
she never, it was a real gut eye-opener for me because I was like, wow, I haven't been around families that haven't even been exposed to this at all. So at first, when she didn't see it, and then I was like, you know what? She's a sharp girl. She just learned a couple of these simple techniques. She'll be able to make a shift right away, and she began doing so.
If I knew what my actual role was, if I had it all laid out like a job description, like I wish my kids came with an instruction manual. I've heard a lot of people say that. If I knew the step-by-step process to actually teaching them to earn things and teaching them to set goals, and that would actually create authentic happiness for them, well, that would be the route that I would take.
Right.
You know, sometimes we do the best that we can with the tools that we've got, but you see, my mom taught me how to be a mom, and her mom taught her, and I'm not going to get into all my history dynamics, but if you look at the history of your family, you know, your mom, your grandparents, your dad's mom, grandparents, who are they? How did they raise their kids? Because guarantee you that's how you're raising your kids.
Yeah.
Whether you see it or you don't see it. And so Tom started sharing with me a little bit here and there about how he ran a martial arts school and literally dealt with thousands of children. And so I remember phoning him up one day and going, okay, my son won't go to school. Now, I don't know how many of you are single moms with full-grown teenage kids, but when your 13-year-old decides to not go to school, what the heck do you do? I remember looking online, how do I get my son to get up and go to school? You know, I tried the water, I tried being nice, I tried yelling, I tried everything, and this kid would not go to school. And I think one little technique you taught me, and bam, he was going to school. And I'm telling you what, he goes to school now, it's almost 2 years later, and he gets up every morning and goes to school all by himself now. So that's one really, really good thing.
Oh, of course. You know, you're going to see, one of the key things I observed is like in their bedrooms, they all have just an enormous amount of toys. More toys than they could possibly ever play with at any one time, even if they had 30 kids over in a slumber party.
True.
And the toys were constantly being left out or unorganized and broken to where it was a constant, like, just keep buying them things to keep making them happy. And as parents, we do a lot of great things, and no one's saying that you don't. But it's putting them in a certain way that actually can help them build things.
Right.
And one of the fun parts is when I was in Seattle and she was still in Canada, she'd call me up and go, okay, I'm ready to do some of that magic you did, like in the back of the car. So
Right.
where do I start?
Right.
What do I say? Because if I know if I could just say something you said, I got it. And I remember when I came back and visited her, I could see her computer screen. She had these white Post-it notes, well, actually
everywhere,
yellow, all over with all the key things. And then she's like, "Oh my God, that worked so good! The dishes are being done." I mean, it was
oh my God! One day, my teenage son was cleaning the fridge. He was cleaning the fridge.
Right.
with like a bucket and some soap, and he's like, yeah, it was kind of, there was a pop spill that needed to be done. I'm like, okay, I've never seen that in my life.
And then same with Jenny when she made her own grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh my gosh, she was teaching me how to make grilled cheese sandwiches. So little simple things like that, and the biggest thing that I saw was the rise in their energy, their confidence, their happiness, and that's what we all want for our kids. We want them to be happy. We tend to bribe them and buy them things. But I'm telling you what, when you create the environment for them that allows them to step up,
yeah,
they become authentically happy, and you can see the difference in their facial expressions and pictures and all over the place. So.
And it's really fun to just see the shift because it makes such common sense. Think of when you go to a job and you apply or you're going through the interview process. Has there ever really been any job as an adult or big kid, as I like to call ourselves, that you went there and they basically bribed you and said, hey, I know you haven't done anything for me yet, I'm really not sure what you can do, but we're going to go ahead and pay you $50,000 a month or $50,000 a year or $10 an hour, whatever it is. We're going to pay you up front, hoping that you'll actually do work later.
Yeah, right.
Where does that ever happen in life?
Right.
But as you watch the pattern, and everybody's present is included, they do that with their kids all the time.
Yeah.
They basically go, here, I'm going to pay you first, hoping somewhere in their mind that they're going to learn how to be self-controlled, responsible, self-disciplined, have focus.
Right.
And it's completely backwards. So when they're paid first, expected to work later, and if they don't, then you pay them again and they don't, you pay them again and they don't.
And then get mad at them and punish them when they don't do anything.
Right. So what job do you have that they just keep paying you? You don't work, they pay you some more.
I just started to see some really amazing, shifts in their confidence, and they were happy when Tom was around and things like this. And man, I just remember I was really confused in my mind. There was like something that was pulling me to do something other than personal development. It was like I kept receiving evidence that the adults that were in personal development, they weren't really doing what they said they were going to do, and it became really frustrating. So that brings us to the purpose of creating Champions for Life.
Yeah.
For me as a mom, and Tom can share where his heart is in this, but for me as a mom, I really believe this is the magic parenting pill. I mean, this is like the magic secret for parents to have everything that you would choose to create with your child or teenager, but it's also the way to bring personal development to our children with child-rearing parenting strategies.
Yeah. So when you get that shift, just change right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Simple. Not easy. It's not easy. It really is not, but it's so simple that it's easy to grasp.
Yeah. Right.
It really is. This is the way that you can have children be self-disciplined and responsible and learn to accomplish goals, and this is how we offer our kids a better life. Not by yelling at them, you've got to go to school, do you want to be stupid? I mean, how many times have you... the kids don't understand any of that. And so I found myself meditating in the bathtub one morning, and I just remembered asking, God, source energy, the universe, whatever is important to you. But I just remember asking God for the answer. We had all these seminars scheduled in California and Seattle still, and God, give me an answer. What is it? There's something pulling me, and I just totally let my mind go blank. And about 20 minutes later, I had a very crystal clear picture flash in my mind. And Bonnie, you're going to take everything that's making you money right now, and you're going to give it all away. You're going to leave it. You're not going to follow through on some things that you have planned on that people were expecting. Like we were going to do a personal development cruise ship. People were expecting this. But the vision was so clear and so strong that the Creating Champions for Life philosophy is the ticket. It's like the magic pill, so to speak, for parents to be able to instill in their children, while their children are still children, all of the things that the personal development industry has to brainwash adults with. And so I decided at that moment we weren't going to do anything except for we were going to devote our lives to Creating Champions for Life, making a program so parents out there would have access to it. And I phoned Thomas up one morning and I said, I know, we've got all these plans, and we're putting everything on hold. We're going to devote everything to Creating Champions for Life.
It was a great call that I anticipated that would happen eventually. Because I remember many, many years ago
when I was working with all these kids, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's something really great here. Now, if this works here, it could be like a fast food chain, or it could be a restaurant chain, or some kind of business that is all over the world, all over the place. I couldn't know how to do it. So I remember writing that down of, that's going to be an intention. Someone's going to come to my life. Something's going to happen, that this is going to be able to be given and shared, because I didn't know how to do it yet. I felt as successful as you were with raising your kids as I did with actually sharing what I could do with the program. Me and the kids are the same everywhere you go. Parents are the same everywhere you go. And what a great way to share the love with, not just in a small group, but just with everybody who's open. And ideas and way things work, and studying and going to school and all these things manifested, where it was not very long where it was like you were taking kids 100 plus on field trips to the mall. I knew that when I worked with the kids in the group that I had, I could go anywhere. I mean, we had Ninja Night sleepovers and everything we did. We had kids that go all the way up to, you know, earning a gold medal at junior nationals in the Olympics sport of Taekwondo. I mean, you should be successful in this city, in this city, in this city. And I didn't know or have the tools or the knowledge or even the ambition to know how to do that yet. So I was just that big fish in a little pond, just right there making everything work. And yeah, I was inducted in Martial Art Hall of Fame and all these great bells and whistles. But that's where, when the phone call came, that's when I looked back at that list and I said, wow, that was 10 years ago when I was making that affirmation. I wrote it down on my intention card, and that's really what it's going to be.
Right, absolutely. And we didn't know anything. I mean, at the time, we didn't know how to write a book, how to do videos, how to launch the website. It was just, all I knew is I wanted to spread the information of this parenting philosophy with you, the other parents of the world, so you could actually learn to program your child for success, to become that champion, which they already are.
Yeah. Because I know what it can do for kids. I know what it does for parents.